Nigga fan 007. What up? You good? I'm alive, I'm breathing. Drop this shit. What up, nigga? Drop this shit. What up, nigga? Fucking head, man. Drop this shit. What up?
You got Beasley on. Yo, Beasley, what's good, man?
What's happening, man? How are you?
What up? Hey, I'm chilling, man. We chilling up here. Battle rap going crazy right now. So many things happening at one time. It's crazy right now. This whole last week.
There's so many events, so many leagues, so many rappers. It's a great time for battle rap. You know what I mean? And I'm glad to be a part of it, man. What's going on, Anchor Fan Movement? What's up, Cap? What's up, everybody? What's going on? So
hey, we all
pleasure to come on the show.
Definitely appreciate you having up here. I guess first and foremost, I guess you want to get into the Summer Madness being
Yeah. Let's talk about it, man. You know, this year we're not gonna have Summer Madness this year. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure everybody knows that because generally URL promotes on a really, really high level. We had a couple of matches scheduled, but it was a number of things that hindered the process. Man, the biggest thing, man, and I know it sounds crazy to everybody else that lives outside of New York, is just securing a venue, man. It is so difficult. And we face a lot of obstacles when you do the big room events because, of course, you got to ensure that people show up, they have ample time to prepare and travel from out of town, and that you can pay everybody because these guys try to charge us through the roof for these big room events. So, like, I know a lot of people will say, well, why don't you bring it to Maryland or bring it down to Virginia or over here or over there? But the problem is in those markets, the economy is different. So I can't charge $75 or $100 for a Summer Madness ticket. I won't get the same crowd that I will in New York, but the MCs won't lower their prices. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, man, it's Summer Madness, man. This is what I need. You know what I mean? And it is a big event, but it's just you can't change the price. So the price that they want is still the price, but then I'm selling the ticket for $20 less if I take it to Virginia or North Carolina or, you know, Boston or any of those other places. So that was a big thing. And then the time that the venue was giving us to work with was tough, and I didn't want to be in a situation where, you know, they did have a shooting there recently, totally unrelated to URL, but now they're hypersensitive about everything. So we're feeling the brunt of, you know, being placed under the hip-hop banner. You know, where before they would try to not include us in the hip-hop banner, you know, but now they want to bunch us all in together. So, you know, the security checks would have been really stringent on the people, you know, coming in, including the staff, and just the timing of it was, you know, we did have a link up, you know what I mean, that we were selling tickets for, but we never fully announced it because there were some details that we were still going back and forth with the venue, you know, in regards to the time that we had in there. And there were no other dates. Like, when that happened, a lot of venues stopped booking hip-hop. So even if you guys, you know, want to fact-check what I'm saying and you go around to all the other websites of the big venues that can host an event, the magnitude of a Summer Madness, you'll see that they're all booked. Like, even we took a Sunday. Now, I mean, well, I think we had a Saturday, but, you know, it got so bad we had to go back to Sunday to even get an opportunity to just even have something. So it's really, really, you know, the venue thing is really, really become an issue, you know what I'm saying, for us. So that was, you know, what it was. But like I said, you know, to the people, you know, I know people, oh, man, Summer Madness. Yo, man, it's, you know, we'll have another, there will be more Summer Madnesses. There's no problem. It's just that we didn't want to rush it. We didn't want to cheat the consumer, and we didn't want to have a situation where somebody has to battle on the street, you know, and the fan feels cheated, and then, you know, they want their money back or whatever the case may be. So, you know, we just like, you know what, with the time and the back and forth, and then by the time we kind of got something in play, it would have only been a few weeks to promote, and then by that time that would have happened, you know what I'm saying, we might have gotten half the crowd. But unfortunately, half the crowd doesn't pay 100% of the bills. So, you know, everybody wants what they want, but, you know how it goes with URL. You made it $1 unpaid. There's 10 blogs. Everybody's trashing us down. Oh, my God, I didn't get paid. But, you know, it's okay for everybody else not to get paid from when they go other places and be old and never ask for their money back and act scared and still go back and battle at these places. But for some reason, when it comes to us, everybody, you know, wants the top dollar and everything that goes with it. And that's fine. We accept it. You know, and I apologize. And to the people that did buy tickets, you know, you know, when the link goes off, you'll get your money back all in the same day. Like URL doesn't have the money; it's all electronic. Through Ticketmaster, everybody will get back all their money for those who did purchase tickets. If you got a ticket and you're from out of town and you purchased a plane ticket to come to Summer Madness, get in contact with me and we will take care of you for the next big event that we have, which will be in November, which will be a big room event with all the big names on there. It's going to be crazy. We've got it locked in. I'll announce the date. And if you can show me that you live out of, you got to prove to me that you live out of town and that you were traveling to come to Summer Madness and you bought a plane ticket. You got to have purchased a ticket, like coming in from Cali or, you know, even, you know, Virginia or, you know, Atlanta or something like that, where you purchased a ticket to come to Summer Madness, like a plane ticket. If you did that, we will honor that. We will give you a comp or honor or work it out with you. If you get in contact with us, we'll make sure that you're straight. You definitely will already get your ticket money back that you bought for this event, but just in good faith, you know what I'm saying, for those diehard fans that purchased it, we'll, you know what I mean, we'll honor your ticket. We will honor your ticket. We'll not honor your ticket, but we'll give you another ticket. So you'll get a refund on the ticket that you purchased for this particular event. You'll get all your money back. When they cut the link, it's going to go automatically back to your credit card or your bank account or your PayPal. And then if you contact us and you show us, you take a photocopy of your plane ticket with your name and address and your information, and you prove to us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you purchased a ticket specifically to fly in town to see Summer Madness, we will give you it. We'll comp you, you know, as a show of good faith. You know what I mean, for the trophy.
Okay.
But like, you know, like I said, man, like I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want to do it. And it happens, you know. There's been times, you know, in other leagues, where they didn't have, like, I believe it was like King of the Dot. It was one year they didn't do one of their events, and they said like the reason was it just didn't make sense at the time for them to do it. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. And I know Summer Madness is nostalgic, you know, and I'm pretty sure under this post someone's gonna write, "Oh my God, it's over. Battle rap is dead. There's no, oh my God." You know what I'm saying? It's just battles, guys. It's just a name. You know what I'm saying? We will have it next year. You know, you got to make up your mind. 1 minute you say Summer Madness ain't the same, so what, blah, 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 blah. And if we don't do it, it's like the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. The fans know what it is. We got a lot of dope battles coming your way. You know what I mean? You'll see a trailer for a new release from Born Legacy, and that'll be out tomorrow. And then you will see a trailer for another big room event in the next couple of days. And it'll have all your favorite guys on it. I promise you guys will be entertained and happy with what it was. So essentially what we're doing is we're just pushing back into the later into the fall so that you guys have time to prepare to come out. And we're still giving you your big room event, you know what I'm saying? So those people who are like fans of the big room events and the crowds and the screaming and the yelling and everything like that, we're not going to leave you guys hanging. You will have something to cheer for in the big room, before the holidays come. And we'll probably try to do something around the holidays in December as well. And then right now we're working towards Born Legacy 4, which you'll see the trailers for that coming up in the next couple of days because we're looking at doing that on the 22nd of October. But again, one of the venues that we were going to use closed from what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Black Bear is closed. You know what I mean?
What?
So, yeah, I'm hearing Swave Sever, shout to Swave. He does shows, he performs all over the world. He's a recording artist as well. So he had a show booked at Black Bear. So when he got to Black Bear to do a show, the shit was closed. And from what he's saying, the person who was paying to rent Black Bear, the landlord was pocketing the money and not paying the venue.
Wow.
So,
wow.
that's
in
another
Williamsburg?
dope venue
Damn.
That's another dope venue that might be kaput. So the dude told me tomorrow he's going to contact me tomorrow. So now it leaves you out here to like try to find something that's centralized, that's close to the train station for the people that don't drive, that's not, so far, in the outer boroughs. And for the people that listen from out of town, like the way New York is, it's like Manhattan is centralized, right? So, of course, Manhattan is where all the most expensive venues are, and then once you go out of town, like people from Queens, they're not going to travel to the Bronx. People from the Bronx, they're not going to travel to Queens to see an event. Brooklyn has come a little more commercialized because of the Barclays Center and the Williamsburg area where Black Bear was. So it's a little more trendy. So people will go to those parts of town, and won't be apprehensive and going, there to see a battle. But like deep in Queens, a lot of people that from out of town may not know either. It's like a two-fare zone, which means you'd have to take a train and a bus if you're not driving. Some people are just like, yo, I'm not doing all of that, homie. Like, that's too crazy. So, tomorrow we have a few appointments to see a couple of different venues. We do have a venue for the November event. We have a contract for it. So you'll see a ticket link up by like Monday, and, you'll start to see the trailers for it. I'm pretty sure that you're going to be happy. There's a couple of matches on there that you've been asking for. So, we definitely going to bring them to you guys and just keep things going. You know what I mean? We're at least I'm shooting for at least 3 to 4 more events before the year is out.
Damn,
I'm trying to keep it. Yeah, I these shits is just coming up out of nowhere. And I mean, I see a lot of people saying, okay, cool. Yes, we're doing the big room events, but we're just trying to do all the events, all types of, opportunity to everybody. So I'm doing like street events. I'm doing the underground joints. I'm doing the small room joints. I'm doing, battles with a lot of guys that, people are calling for that are on the come up. I'm just trying to deliver all the battles, as many battles as possible. That's just what I want to do. That's a mission that we have. It's an objective that we have. And I think, we got to cater to more than one crowd, because for a while our focus is all big room battles. You know what I mean? And a lot of people felt like, well, why isn't this person, on there? And then there was no conduit to bring them to the big room, because if they were like in a small room situation, to throw somebody in front of 1,000 people is shocking. It's not as easy as you think it is when people are looking at you ready to boo. You know what I mean? That you have to build up to that. You know what I mean? And I didn't think that we had a way to groom and bring guys up, because even your favorite battle rapper may be killing people on these leagues. But believe me, when you stand on that Irving Plaza stage and that shit is packed to the back of the room and they quiet waiting for you, and you do one slip up or get off beat, they're going to be on your neck. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know how to bounce back and control that room, and that is just a whole nother skill that, really takes some time and focus. But, that's basically what it is. For the people that want to know, yes, it is canceled this year. We will be putting another big room battle in place. I wanted to announce it a little earlier, but we didn't have the big room battle in place, and I kind of wanted the people, I didn't want the people that enjoy the big room battles to feel like, well, damn, man, they just going to do Born Legacy now, and I don't have a date or like a time frame of when the big room battles are going to take place. But, I'm looking at 11/20 for the next big room battle, and I hope everybody comes out. I hope everybody likes the card, and we're gonna do it, man. We're ready to go.
Okay. Hey, B, so, all right, so you're saying the main problem is definitely the venue and not the artist. So has anything
it was a combination of two things. The main thing I did, we did have a venue. The problem was they tried to shorten the time that we would be allowed to be in the venue. And we knew with the crowds and the timing and getting people on stage that we weren't going to make the time that was offered. So I didn't want to have to spill out onto the street and not have time to complete it. And then they were just really being hypersensitive about the time. And and I understand because somebody got bodies in there, rest in peace, but somebody got, unfortunately lost their life in there with the shooting that they had earlier in the spring. So now, this is the first time we've been back, or the first time really hip-hop has made its return into that venue. So, now the pressure's on us. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they already turned up. So it's just like, but it left us no real choice but to use that venue because there's nothing out here. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, like the pricing of a venue changes dramatically. Like when you try to even if you just add like 400 or 500 more people, say, okay, we'll go to this one to get a bigger room. It's the difference between paying $10,000 and $25,000, $30,000 just for a building before you do the card. You feel what I'm saying? So
right.
It's like either that or pass it on to the consumer. And I just feel like in this economy, we're at the highest number that I could possibly charge the consumer. You feel? You know what I mean? I don't want to start going past, what our prices have for the last 3 or 4 years yet. I just don't think it's enough time to boost up the prices and pass them on to the consumer. But mind you, the MCs want more money, so it's tough. You know what I mean? And it's, there were a few battles that we tried to get, independent of the Hitman battle that guys were kind of seeing the trend and they were saying, well, if he wants this amount of money, then I want this amount of money. You know what I mean? But I didn't really have to live to it because I didn't do any of those big battles. So no one really could have that argument, and it's just a different time, man, and it's like a lot of guys that you're not seeing, it's because they're overpricing themselves, and a lot of times fans say, oh, URL has it, pay it, you know what I mean? But if that was their market value, other people would be doing those battles. But you're not seeing those guys battle because no one else is paying that money. Nobody, not any league. No one is paying. So it's not there. It doesn't exist. So the fans have to understand that. And, it's all respect to the artist. I'm not in a position to tell anyone what they're worth. I only can offer what we are willing to pay and can afford to pay. And beyond that, if someone wants a certain amount of money, God bless them. That is their opinion. That is their God-given right to charge whatever they feel they want to charge. But it's my God-given right to say, hey, I can't afford it. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to do it. Like everybody who was doing the big room battles, they don't exist anymore. They're gone. URL is the only one really left. You know what I'm saying? Total Slaughter is gone. You know what I mean?
You got Mr. Fab new card.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure that I spoke to Fab, what was it, like a week ago. So he's really gung-ho about it. He's excited about it. And he has some great names on that card, you know what I mean? But, I'm anxious to see how it turns out. I definitely salute him because I think he put together a solid card, and it's great for the Bay Area. And I think that people will be happy with it. But I'm just saying in general, like, you got to see what the aftermath is of everything. You know what I mean? Because as it stands, of the guys doing those battles, URL is the only people left that, with the same infrastructure in terms of a company and the same people who involved. You know what I mean? Because those super big battles, the culture's not there yet. I saw recently n.o.m.e put up a post at Facebook was like, yo, I'm charging $2 a battle. People were losing their minds. What? $2? Are you kidding me? Crying and shit. I refuse to pay. And I'm like, well, do you guys like this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like every other art form that exists, from ballet to orchestras to, music that you hear in Carnegie Hall, it's all publicly funded through donations. Art galleries and, paintings and all these things and museums, they're all funded by people who love the arts and care about it. If we don't love our own art, how can we ever expect it to grow? You know what I mean? So if somebody's saying, yo, listen, I'm charging $2 for this particular match, and dudes are like, fuck that. I ain't paying for that shit. I'll wait. Or I'll jack it when it comes on the stream. I'm going to bootleg the shit out of it. I'm going to break the VOD and I'm going to steal it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like dudes have no respect for something that they claim that they love. You know what I mean? Like you'll pay Apple Music for a subscription. You'll pay Netflix. You'll pay, all these other Tidal, all these other platforms, but you wouldn't pay, and we're not even charging anything. Lord is just trolling, being the jerk that he is. You know what I'm saying? But you'll pay for all of these platforms, but you won't pay for something that you claim you love, or you won't pay for something that you're so passionate about that you'll write paragraph after paragraph about it on YouTube, or you won't pay for something that when there's no battles that you tune into the Angry Fan Show just to get an idea of what's going on in the culture, what's coming up next, why this person feels this way, or what happened, or what this guy said, the reason why he's not battled. You'll listen to every single thing. You'll go on Facebook and everything, but if someone says, yo, you want to put up $2? Hell no, fuck no. Paying for that. These guys just have no, they don't see the culture as having value. And if we don't love it, you know what I'm saying, who is? So it's going to be a time where, we got to support it. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything else, anything else that you love and appreciate. You buy a rapper's album and the dude has 2 songs on there that you like. Charge you $14 for the stream, and y'all buy it. Y'all don't complain. Y'all play the single and you're happy, but you won't buy an event. You'll bootleg an event and then shit on it after y'all buy the stream for free and tear it down. Y'all will look for something to be wrong. A lot of guys do.
Yeah,
so I think
yeah.
But hey, it is what it is.
AB, I want to switch lanes real quick. Well, as for you, Dub, booking Suge versus Surf, was y'all trying to book that battle yourself?
No, we weren't. We weren't booking that battle. I mean, Suge had brought it to us a while ago, and Surf had to mention it and offered it up, but at the present time, that wasn't a battle that we were looking to book. Not that we don't think it's a great battle, and I'm going to definitely attend it and watch it because I want to see. But I actually think it makes more sense on UW. I mean, they're both from New Jersey. They're from Newark. They're good friends with Arsenal. It's Arsenal's league. He's going to be in New Jersey. It's going to bring the most amount of Jersey people out, so it's smart to do it in New Jersey. And I just think that it just makes sense, they're fighting basically to see who the king of Jersey is. Suge's been working with us closely. His profile has grown exponentially over the last year or so since he's been, taking these continuous URL battles. He went from a guy who people said, well, why is he on the card, to why isn't he not on the card? You know what I mean? So the fact that people would never even consider, if you think about a year and a half ago, if you said Shotgun Suge versus Surf, people would be like, that wouldn't make any sense. He's stand a chance.
Yeah,
now,
that's true.
now it's different, So I think that if being in New Jersey is good for them because they're going to put on their best performance because all of their hometown is going to be there. So 2 guys battling in their hometown to see who's the king of their state has to go down in Jersey. And what better place for it to go down than the biggest league in New Jersey, UW.
Okay. As for the recent road battle, the Mike P versus Daylight footage, like what happened? That footage is terrible.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely some mistakes, man. I'll be the first one to admit it. URL is not perfect. You know what I'm saying? There are times when things happen, but basically what happened, to make a long story short, is that, that footage was shot in 4K, but when they did the edit, they didn't realize, that it took 27 hours to render that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, a date was put on it as because of the files are so large. You feel what I'm saying? So even if you, even when you're shooting that and you try to render in that, the files are so large, they take so long to render. So just to get the people like a rendering for those who are not following is when after the battle's been fully edited, there's a process that's called rendering, and that just kind of, don't get me wrong, don't beat me up. I'm not super technical in regards to, footage, but basically what it means is that it's a way to it's like a mix down. It's like the equivalent of a mix down on a song. Like after that, you have to render it to lock it up. Like you have all the edits there, and then you run it through that process, and it locks everything in place and finalizes it and makes it ready for upload. But the rendering process was a little took a little longer, and then there were certain mistakes, and that were in there, and then the timing and the people were asking. So, yes, in the third round, my man Daylight had some kung fu mouth, but he was like, oh, but you couldn't see, the audio was a little off for like 5 seconds, and then it had a space in the 5 seconds again. And I think that, the mix between the crowd reaction and going back to the recorded audio was so loud and disturbing. However, we do have a fixed version of the battle that we will release, for those who want to enjoy it without the hiccups and the mistakes. And we apologize to the fans. Like I said, man, things happen. We're not perfect. We're moving forward. We learn from the mistakes. So the next battle that you see from Born Legacy won't have any of those issues that you saw in the first. We actually have it done. We've rendered it already. We're reviewing it to make sure that those issues are not in there. And then, if everything is good, you'll see a trailer for it tomorrow. Probably see the battle somewhere around Monday or Tuesday. And then we'll proceed forward with that. So, again, I know some people were upset about it. Some people didn't give a fuck. They didn't think it was a big deal. They watched it all the way through and they enjoyed it. Content-wise, I thought they both did well. But actual editing-wise, we will take the responsibility for it. Can't make any excuses. It was a fuck-up on URL's part. We're not perfect. We apologize to the people who are upset. Apologize to the MCs who participated. We will be releasing a fixed version to enjoy. And, it is what it is. We got to, we'll make the adjustments and we'll get better. You know what I mean? We're not perfect. We made a mistake. That's on us. But, we'll like this whole year, we really haven't had anything like that or anything close to that with all the battles that we've released. So, it happens sometimes, and it was definitely a hiccup on our part. If we take full responsibility for it, we'll own it. And, we will put out the fixed version for you guys to enjoy. And, that's really it. Other than that, though, I did enjoy the battle. I think Daylight showed up. I think he did his thing. I think Mike P showed that, he's on that path to being able to compete with some of the best guys out there coming from the PG class. And now he's actually coming into his own and really making his stamp and his impact. So salute to him. We already got some matchups. Potential matchups of guys that want to see him in the ring already. So, we're excited about the way that things are going, man. And, we got a dope matchup with Daylight already scheduled. It's going to be crazy. He's going against another fellow Savage. So look out for that. You'll see the trailer for it this week.
Hey, Bees, as fans, should fans be worried about URL? Like seeing the whole B Magic? Like, what's going on with B Magic? Did he send the money back? Or?
No, he hasn't paid the money back yet. I did speak with him. I offered him the opportunity to do the battle. Again, I said we could delay it for some time. He doesn't want to do the battle. He said that he would prefer to pay the money back.
So he said
that he's going to get the money back. Yeah, I guess, that would be a question that you would have to ask him about. Wow. He said that he is going to pay the money back.
Wow.
And I'm waiting for the money to come back in. We have to go off of his word. He's a man of his word. So he says, and he's going to be upstanding and do the right thing. So we got to give him the opportunity to do the right thing. But I did speak with him that he would return the money. And I guess, we'll see what happens. But, he hasn't paid his first installment yet. But he said that he plans on making it soon. He has some battles coming up. And that he plans to be making his get on his payment plan to get the money back to us. So we're just staying tuned for that.
So he said, fuck, I'm not going to battle Av. I'd rather just take all. That's why you got all these battles right now. It looked crazy, to be honest with you, because it's like, all right, we seen battle Fireboy. Now you got to battle on a bunker. And the very next day, you battle on Mr. Fab card. But you're not battling Av. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's something that you gotta ask him, man.
That's crazy.
But you gotta know, man. Like it's a lot of pressure, man. URL is a little bit different, man. When you battle here, the world knows. They don't let shit slide. They're gonna get on your helmet. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, show and prove or, handle what your obligation is. So it's like once you sign the contract and you step out into the world, they want to see it. And if they don't see it, that's why this thing has had such a big uproar. But, like I said, man, I don't want to focus on that for too long.
Yeah.
B Magic said he's going to pay back the money, so it's up to him now to live up to that word and make right, do right, and be noble, and be the man that he says he is. So you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He said he's going to pay it back, so hopefully he'll pay it back.
One more question on it. All right. So he said he's going to pay. He said he's going to pay it back and whatnot. I know that. So it's just like, this shit is crazy. There's no interest involved in this shit. None of that shit. I just don't understand how that shit works. He just, wow. All right. No, man. I don't understand how this shit works.
I'm as puzzled as you are, guys. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes in life, things just work out the way that they work out, and you can't control every situation. We have a lot of battles with Booker, so there's going to be some things that fall through the cracks. Pharrell is doing more events than pretty much anybody right now in terms of battles and shooting and getting content. So you have to remember, if you look, on in terms of a percentage rate, you're going to see more things like this possibly happen just because of the amount of battles we're doing. So if you're a league and you see events a year and maybe one person drops out, it doesn't seem like that. They're doing 3 and 4 events within a quarter, you know what I'm saying, of the year, and 1 or 2 battles drop out. It seems like, oh, this is happening every week. Oh, my God. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. Out of those other battles, we still probably got about 17 battles coming out right now between Traffic and Born Legacy. You know what I mean? And then we're already gearing up for like 3 more events. So we'll have a lot of stuff for you guys to watch. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It happens. Sometimes guys have their reasons why they can't perform or show up, or, they become apprehensive about facing certain people. And who knows, what his reasons are for not doing it. Go off of for now.
Would you ever book him again after this as a league owner?
Oh man, I don't know. That's actually a great question. And I don't know. You know what I mean? That would be, we would have to. Some time would have to go by, and I would have to be, feel assured that he, is going to live up to his obligations. You know what I mean? Because there's no easy matches here. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you can't let fear take over you can't, over your decision. You know what I mean? And it's like you gotta show up and you gotta fight. You gotta be brave. You know what I mean? You gotta fight through every obstacle. I fight them every day. I don't even battle. I take the criticism. Oh, this is fucked up. I'm not happy about the way that some of the footage has come out. With that last battle, but I face the music and own it and accept it. Say I was wrong and keep moving. The people see it and they, if someone doesn't battle, it's not just it. It's not just the guys who don't battle that look bad. It's me too, because they're going off of my word and, they're trusting in my brand to deliver. You know what I mean? But most people will still have faith in URL for the amount of battles that we have delivered. And generally, when someone misses, you go back on our history, when someone misses a battle, something prevents something from happening, we get it done. We make that shit up. You know what I mean? We make it our business to get it done. Whether it's Math Hopper and Dose rematch, whether it's Disaster, whether it's this one, whether it's that one, whether it's a whole business or unfinished business, we get it done. We get the battles rematched. We get them done. We make up the battles. So, as I said, listen, this is not even personal. I'm not angry anymore. You know what I'm saying? If B Magic has a change of heart and he wants to do the battle, you can schedule a time when he's going to be prepared and get it done. Let's just do it. You know what I mean? Forget if I think that he's prepared or not prepared, or if he had his rhymes ready. We could book it a month from now. You could book it 6 weeks from now. 2 months from now, you know what I mean, if he wants to do it. I will put my pride aside or whatever feelings I have in regards to him backing out in the fashion that he did and honor and do the battle for the fans. But that's solely his decision, and as of now, he doesn't want to do that. He says that he would like to pay us back the money. So, hey, I will take the money back, and I will put a bounty up for anybody brave enough to stand in front of my man ass. And that money, once B Magic returns it, I'll put up I'll put up a bounty for someone that wants to jump in that shoes and fill that spot and get that money and do the battle. So.
Okay. What direction is your room going in? Are you so much not looking for top tier people? Y'all focusing on the up and comers? Is it a combination?
Well, like I said, look, we got a whole top tier card pretty much on November the 20th. Okay. You know what I mean? So we're still doing the big room battles like we've always done. But I like the smaller room battles because we can do more of it. Sometimes when we just focus on the big room battles, there's these big gaps that come in between, and the fans are like, well, where are you, URL? When are you coming back? Your guys are not doing enough defense. And then when we start doing the events, oh, man, all you going to do is just underground battle? Where's the big battles? So it's like you can't win. You know what I'm saying? I think people are just shocked, and they think that we're all focused on smaller battles. No, we just realized that by going back to our roots, doing the Black Star type battles and events, it's actually fun for us because I can do more of them. I can do them quickly. I can turn them around. You got more people who can be built, who have the opportunity to be seen, that can make it to a bigger stage. And I think it just puts a lot of pressure to MCs who are in the game because they realize, well, shit, these guys are moving, and if I don't jump in the game, I'm going to get left behind. So I think it's a good thing for us to do more battles. URL is a battle company. We're not just a battle company, but we need to put battles on. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do all the battles. So I'm like that movie, if there's a nickel bag in the park, I want in. I don't care if it's in a barbershop, a street corner, urban plaza, the Gramercy, the Highline Ballroom. I'm do events in every venue, at every level, at every capacity. From ghetto videos on the corner with one camera to mic'd up guys inside an air-conditioned venue. I want to do all the battles, as many as I can, as often as possible, to keep things moving so we're not stagnant. So there's always something new to talk about. There's more, and I think it's healthy for the culture because it gives you guys more things to debate. It gives you more names to discuss. Nobody wants to talk about the same 7 guys waiting for them to battle over and over and over again. You know what I mean? That will get boring. Yes, there are stars of the culture. There are big names in the culture, and we do have to give them attention, and we are. We're doing a whole event with top-tier names that's going to be big in the biggest venue in the city for Battle Rap Irving Plaza. So look out for it and come through. But we're also doing the little venues, the small events, the guys who don't have the big profiles, but they're skilled, the people that are lyrical, the guys that are popular on Facebook, the guys that are popular on your show and on your platform that you're asking, why haven't they gotten a PG? Why are they not at least in a Born Legacy or a smaller event like that? Why doesn't URL do that? Well, now we're doing it. You know what I mean? So we're doing everything. So we're not just going to be the king of the big room battles. We're trying to be the king of the small room battles again, too. We're going back to our roots.
So as far as battles like Hollow and Hitman and Verb and them, like, we still going to see him? Is it a chance or? Well,
I mean, like Hollow and, like there's different tiers. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hitman has pushed himself into a Hollow Loaded Lux tier. That's the pay that he's commanding. But the problem is it's all economics. It has to be budgeted because have $30,000-$40,000 battle in a building that only can make 100 at maximum capacity, and that's for one person. And then the opponent of that big battle is going to want at least 10. And then, you're already at 40 or 50 before you even go to the rest of the card and do the travel and the hotels and the ground transportation and rentals, and then try to take at least have enough to purchase a loaf of bread for your family. It's like, how can these things happen? Now, I'm not saying that we won't do them and that we don't appreciate those guys' talent, because we do. But it just depends on if we can actually get that done. If it can happen, if there's a way to make the money for it, we'd be more than glad to do it. You think I don't want to book Hollow? I want to book Hollow tomorrow if I could. But I mean, it just takes a little bit more time and a little more focus because of the demands that he wants. And, you know, he's one, you know, who brings out the people. You know what I mean? He does pack a building. You know what I mean? I can't front on him. Shouts to Hollow the Don. You know what I mean? He does pack buildings. You know what I mean? And you know, it's just a little bit more time. And we look forward to doing that. But remember, now when he reaches a certain level, you're not going to book Hollow the Don versus the average person. He's going to want somebody else damn near on his level. So now you're looking at two guys that want that type of money. How in the hell is that even going to be possible? You know what I mean? Especially when guys don't even want to pay $2. You know?
Yo, B, so you sit these niggas down and be like, look, bro, I don't got the bread. Like, you don't got, like, are you telling these niggas, like, look, y'all need sponsors if y'all want that back? Are y'all, like, telling them that?
I mean, I say it all the time. But, again, like I said, listen, this isn't something that I'm doing to say that I'm focusing this wild energy for you guys to be angry at the guys who command that money. If they worked hard, and if that's what someone feels that they're worth, who am I to say that they're not worth it or that they are worth it or that they can't get what they ask for? It's just not going to be as frequent as you used to seeing them. Because they want more money, it takes more time, and that's why you don't see them on the stages, on any league, that often, because it's a big thing. You feel what I'm saying? To be able to get someone and book them like that consistently. Because everybody wants to book Hollow the Don. Everybody will probably want to book Hitman. You know what I'm saying? But because they know what their prices are, it's a harder negotiation and a harder thing to do. So it just takes time. You know what I mean? And if, you know, the fans have patience and maybe they understand, well, hey, if they book these guys, maybe they have to book smaller acts around it. You can't, you know, get a Summer Madness 2 card in Urban Plaza. Just everybody thinks they deserve a certain amount of money, or they want this, or they know what the top guy on the card is getting, so then they automatically raise their price up and want to argue, nah, man, well, if he wants 30, man, I want 15, man. You know what I mean? But they were just getting, you know, 3 times below that last battle, or they just got 3 times below that overseas, or 3 times below that in some other league down the block. But yet our prices are not going up. The venue capacity is not going up, but everybody's price is going up. So it's a combination of things that aid in us not being able to do a lot of those super big, high, super, you know, name battles. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I think there's a time. I'm on the street right now, so bear with me. You hear the ambulance.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? It's all part of New York City's beautiful scenery. But, you know, it all depends, man. But are we moving in some type of, oh, we're cutting off the top-tier guy? No, not at all. We're doing a whole event that includes them in November. You know, we are still doing the same events. We didn't do some of those events, like, well, we didn't do n.o.m.e at first because we didn't feel like they were the battles were there that made sense. Because when we put these cards together, even with some of the names, the people are like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him. You got to remember, all these guys have battled each other. All the top-tier guys, they've all battled each other. There might be 3 or 4 battles left, but for the most part, they've all seen each other. You know what I'm saying? To a point where you had Hitman battle A-Verb and you got Tsunami Surf battling Suge. You know what I mean? To the point where it's like, it's gotten down to the point where friends are turning into former friends or whatever, and they're taking each other out. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's not left anymore, guys. The guys have gone off and done one-rounders and foolishness in other places where now there's no value in the 3-round battle of that, or they've done it in other places that people just didn't want to see it, and it's just like whatever. So those battles are not there, but it leaves exciting matchups for people to take new guys. And if people just eliminate the hierarchy within battle rap and just battle who's hot at the time, we'll have a whole new slew of battles. take the same energy towards, you know, you battling Surf that you would towards Mr. Wavy or Mike P or Av or Rum Nitty or, you know what I mean? Battle these guys. They're good guys. They're lyrical. They're going to put up a fight. You know what I mean? And eventually, you know, this is what's going to have to happen. And it can't be this whole attitude, well, if I take him, I'm giving him a shot, so I'm going to need extra money to battle him because he's a lower tier than me. And I'm be giving him a career. Like, you got to come away from that because that's just, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like,
you know what, Beasley? I don't mean to cut you off. Like, do you feel pressured to have to book some of the top names because of the fans? Because I mean,
no, I don't care anymore. I'm not a high.
Deal with that all the time, and they doing this and doing that. What's stopping you from saying, "Well, I want to put the top in"?
I think that URL has, you know what I'm saying? It's partially our fault because if you look back at the n.o.m.e, the Summer Madnesses, and some of the other big events that we've done, they've contained the majority of the players and the big names, and we've delivered events where, you know, I think it morphed into that where early on, Summer Madness 1, 2, 3, whatever, where you had these names and they weren't that expensive, you could put all the stars of the culture on one card. But now you can't do that anymore because everyone, you know, there's one guy that, you know, and how it happens is you have these big companies come in and say, well, I'll pay you $25,000, $30,000, and then they get that one time, then they never go back. So then they look for that from us, or they come back to URL and they want $10,000 more than, you know, what Shady Records paid you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're a smaller company or entity, but you'll charge me more than what, you know, some billionaire pays you in California. With Alki David, you'll come to me for more. And when I don't do it, then I'm the bad guy. You know what I mean? Or I'm cheap, or I'm robbing you. But you took $10,000 less from him. Why? He's a billionaire, or he's, you know, a rapper, or he's, you know, a multi-million-dollar company. You took less from them, but you want more from me. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's all good. You know what I mean? It happens. But like I said, listen, by no means, you know, we love all the rappers. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate all of them. You know, we love their talent. You know, and we're doing an event, like I said, on 11/20 with a lot of the big names. But we're not going to be hostage and wait around either for guys to wait them out and stop putting on the show. You know what I mean? It's like if Derrick Rose is playing basketball, he hurts his knee, everybody's going to be upset. But when they put the sub in, they're still going to watch the game. You know what I'm saying? So the game must go on. Nobody's bigger than the NBA. And nobody's bigger than the Ultimate Rap League. You know what I mean? I feel that, you know, it's the culture. It's the game. Like, if a guy says he wants this amount of money, we don't have it, you guys can't be mad at us. If that's the case, go fund. Help us put up the money. We'll put up half. We'll put up the majority of it, but help us out. You know, if you guys want to see it, you're complaining and slamming computer terminals across the room and putting thumbs down comments under the YouTube videos and F you guys and you're not shit, this and that, and blah, 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 blah. Ain't nobody doing no action-packed 3 fully round cards with all of those names on it and putting it out. It ain't happened in a long time. We're the last ones to do it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's doing it. So it's not like anybody can say, oh, well, this one just did it, and they had 3-round battles, packed up card with every big name out there. No one's done it. The last big name event that had everybody on it, that's the last one. You know what I mean? That had like a majority of good big names on it with Double Impact. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, ain't nobody doing that. You'll hear 1 or 2 matches. You know what I'm saying? And I think that should be the format that we should follow. You know what I'm saying? Because I think URL has given everybody all those names for so long. It's what they're accustomed to seeing from us. So when they don't get it, it's like, oh, this sucks. Da-da-da-da-da-da. But people got to understand, you know, the artists have grown bigger. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are pricing themselves out of the culture. They have other things going on, or they want to sit out and they want to wait. You know what I mean? And they got to, you know, can't put all of those names on one card and be successful. You know what I mean? I'm never, like, it's like boxing. Like Oscar De La Hoya, he's not going to pay the boxers more than themselves and take all the risk. What? No one has that business acumen. No one. Not UFC, not Oscar De La Hoya, not the NBA. No one's gonna pay somebody $40,000, $50,000, and then go home with $3,000, and then you put up all the money, got the sponsors, got the venue, flew everyone in, and then you go home with like $2,000, and then the battle MC leaves like $50 grand. You're a hoe at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Unless you're making $50 grand too, who would do that? That just makes absolutely no sense. Who's going to do that? I can't name one person listening that would do that. And if you are doing that, then you're not in it for the business. You're just in it to do it. You know what I'm saying? We make a living off of this. This is how we eat. This is one of our revenue streams. You know what I mean? I do other things, but this is one of my revenue streams. I put a lot of time and we put a lot of energy into URL to make it go and to make it work. You know what I mean? And it's a dream of mine to really build it up as an industry, you know, within the hip-hop culture. And I think we've been successful so far, but got a lot of work to do. You know, we're still growing. Even though it seems like a long time, still in its infancy stages. Not nowhere near how big battle rap can be. You know what I mean? I believe that it will have the same impact that hip-hop did when it first came into fruition. Still growing. There's still breakthrough moments. It's just to the fans and the diehard people that are listening on the air tonight, they've been involved since the day one. You guys are visionaries and trailblazers. Even you, Caps, you know what I'm saying, for even creating a platform where people can, you know, come on and hear what's going on, and you're keeping the people informed, and you're giving a strong opinion, you know, on how you feel about shit, whether good or bad. I take the beatings all the time. You know, people are like, well, why do you go on the Angry Fan Show? Why not? If he said that the battle sucked, it sucked. Every battle's not going to be good. Every visual's not going to be the greatest. Times when he does say that the battles are great, that they hot, we doing our thing. Fans that send shit out. There's these two kids, man, I wish I knew their name. They put up a video getting at us at URL. Yo, I swear I'm going to post this shit on the site. They went at us crazy, yo. And I loved it. I appreciated it so much. It was so dope. He was like, yo, man, we're not getting no Summer Madness. And then this is not. Come on, man. We know y'all we love y'all, man, but come on, man. Like, you know, it was passion. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to see. So the passion is not always going to be in your favor. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they're going to tear you down to make you understand how they feel, so that you can, you know, see, you know, appreciate, you know, their love for you and what you built, and what your impact is. So I take it all, man. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it all. So I'm with it.
Damn, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And going back to what you said about the subscription thing and everything like that, I'd had an idea that you guys are already probably there with your diehard fans. You just have to provide enough value to where people will invest in it, because that's what they did with Netflix. Now the value of stealing it is not there. Like, it doesn't make sense to steal anymore, right? Like because people will just do it. My idea was about judging, having people be official judges or get access to exclusive content and be able to vote on the battles that they want to see in exchange for maybe $5 a month. You know what I mean? I think you have enough of a diehard fan base to do that.
But now the thing with that is, you would really have to be on point to supply the consumer with enough content. Because people, if I put n.o.m.e up, they're gonna binge watch n.o.m.e in one night. It's over. You gotta do like 2-3 events a month to supply them, because those people, they're not playing. You can't put up one battle a day. It's not enough. Paying my money, want to see everything. Put it up now. Let's go. You know. So I'm just figuring out a way to do that. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm doing more battles. And I'm doing a lot of battles, doing underground battles. I got guys that want to get their weight up, that want to battle for free. Why would I not shoot them? Because they're not a name? So what? Put the battle out. Let the fans judge. Let's see the hunger. Let's see who's willing to go. That's what we do in this for, right? We want to see grimy, you know, when you see Young Cannon and Danny Myers, it's just, they're names, but it's hunger. It's grimy. They're in each other's face.
Mm-hmm.
They're going crazy on each other. Grizz and Password. You hear the rumble in Grizz's voice. You see Pass in there fighting. He got his jokes and shit. It's energy. That's what we working off of. It's about energy and who's taking this shit seriously. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes I might put some of the battles out and maybe the views aren't as high as the bigger name views, but the battles are great. So who cares at that point? Like, I don't care. I just want to see something good. I want to see people, you know, get crazy. And then I have my big room battles that do the numbers that they do. What's up, King? What's up? Yeah, for sure. I'm going to do a radio interview, but yeah, for sure. Search.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what else is going on, Cap? Any other questions I got to ask you? What's up?
I guess my last question was about the guys. Like, I was at BL3, and I thought that was dope. The one thing I will say, though, is that the roster is big. You know, are there talks about, you know, will eventually people get cut? Like, how would it work? Would people only be mid-sized guys? Like, what would happen? You know what I mean?
I mean, you know, it all boils down to. Give me a second. It all boils down to like what the demand is. You know what I mean? You got to put the battles out, let the people judge. The people will push the people to the forefront that they want to see. Like, I like that dude. I think he performed well. Book him again. You know what I mean? They're gonna see. I'm gonna read the comments. I'm gonna listen to your show. Angry fans gonna go in the car and spit his water out and yell. Somebody's garbage or somebody's good. That's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm going to know. He's going to say what it is. Then the dude's going to show up or they're not going to show up. You know what I mean? I don't X people out after one bad performance. But, I mean, if it's a consistent bad performance and people are like, please don't book that guy anymore. He got to take a break. And he can go out to the smaller leagues and work his way back up. And we can start again. But, yeah, there's definitely going to be a weeding out process. I mean, if somebody's getting calls like, Jersey Twerk had one battle, but everybody's talking about his battle. Twerk, bringing him back and see if he can do it again. If he can sustain and perform on that level again, then we bring him back again. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, he may go to a bigger stage. The people will push through who they want to see. The fans are very opinionated. You know what I mean? They're going to say yes, no, maybe, so. They're going to make sure that they're going to push the people that they want to see to the forefront. So I think in between you guys as being a strong media outlet, you're going to voice your opinions as well. So we take all that into consideration in the selection process.
Hey, B, last question before I let you got to go. Is there any word on what battle's going to drop next, or are you still thinking about it?
Now, we know what's going to be next, but I got to let the trailer come out, man. That's to get the people hyped. And I'm trying to make that come out tomorrow. So we're looking over the battle tonight just to see what, you know, to make sure that we don't have a repeat of what we did with the initial release of Mike P and Daylight. You know what I mean? We take it very seriously, y'all, and we don't want to disappoint the fans. And to give me apologize, and we wear that responsibility fully. You know what I mean? You know, it was a mistake. Some things happened. Now we just got to come back and make it better. You know what I'm saying? And as I said, I do have a fixed version, but I'll release that once I put the next battle out, because, you know, if I put that out first, I'm going to get 25 comments. Yo, man, we saw this already, man. Fuck you. Put some new shit out. This is the problem with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I got to put out something new, and then once I put some new shit out, and everybody's enjoyed it, I'll release the fixed version of their battle, you know what I'm saying, so that the fans that want to see it without the glitches in it, you know what I mean? We took the time to do that for you guys and release it. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. Well, hey, Bees, man, we appreciate you coming on tonight, man.
Yo, man, I'm down to come on at any time. You know what I mean? You can even let the people call up sometime if there's a way to call in and ask me any questions, or maybe next time, you know, you can tell people to email you or tweet you some questions that you can ask me. I want to answer the tough questions. I want to engage with the fans and the supporters and answer everything that they want to do. And I think that you covered everything that you needed to do. You know what I'm saying? I think that we covered everything, and I think that we in a position where. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that as I said, we're in a position where we got everything that we needed to get covered. You know what I mean? And as I said, like we're doing, just to be clear, we have another big room event. It's not the end of the big room events because Summer Madness is not happening this year, and we're pushing back. We want to make sure that when we do come with a big event, there's ample time, for us to promote. The fans know about it. They have their chance to get their tickets in advance and come through and show up again. For those who are coming, who purchased a ticket that live out of town, if you can produce a plain ticket with your name on it, proving that you were going to fly in for Summer Madness, you'll not only get your money back for the show that was canceled, but we will honor a ticket for you for the next big room event that you want to attend. So just contact us, let us know, and we will honor you for that, for the 11/20 show in New York City. And, like I said, you're going to see some smaller events that we're doing, small room joints, medium room joints. You're going to see one-offs. You're going to see all types of shit coming your way that you would never expect from URL. We're trying to put out as much content as possible. We're trying to give as much opportunity as possible. And we're just trying to give everybody a look and a time and a space to grow from. I think that, as a company, we've got to grow and expand. We're still working. We're still trying to perfect our craft and get better and better with time. We're not perfect, but we want to do more battles and release more content and get more opinions and get more conversation going and keep things fresh and bring up new names and push guys forward so that we can keep this thing going. So
Fan 007, what up? You good? I'm alive, I'm breathing. Drop this shit. What up, nigga? Drop this shit. What up, nigga? Fucking head, man. Drop this shit.